Hello guys, welcome to the MX Vice review of the 2024 Kawasaki 450, fresh back from Rocco's Ranch just outside Barcelona. Had an absolute whale of a time with the guys from Kawasaki UK. The boys in Kawasaki Spain sorted out a great trip. Track was prepped to perfection. We had a great day. Uh, but before we jump into the review, let's just squash any rumours about this new Kawasaki not being powerful enough. It's absolute horseshit. It's a 450. There's plenty of power there for you. There's not something you need to worry about. Right, with that being said, there are plenty of things that we can get into, like the suspension. If you're one of the guys that has a factory A-kit suspension on your 2023 model, unfortunately, only the forks are going to fit on this model. The shock is shorter on the 24, so therefore your 23 shock will not fit. But fortunately your clamps will bolt on. Also your wheels are interchangeable, although Kawasaki do not recommend you change the rear wheel as the 24 has a thicker hub, so they don't recommend you change that back tyre. The first thing you're going to notice when you look at the bike are the plastics. Whole new redesign, much sleeker finish, looks totally different to 23, much more modern and a much cleaner finish. You're going to hear the bike now for the first time. This was a couple laps in, just starting to feel things out, but looking comfy. I found the bike really encouraged me to get up on the pegs in the rutty situations. I've been on some bikes before where just not comfortable up on those pegs when it starts to get rutty. Find myself sitting down a lot earlier, but this bike was complete opposite. Felt really strong, really comfortable stood up. And yeah, something I kind of look for when I'm doing one of these tests. But as you can hear in a minute, the bike, there's plenty of power there. Unless your name is Roman Fevra or Jason Anderson or Cianciarillo, I think you're probably gonna be okay. Do you know what I mean? I mean, have a listen. I mean, I think it sounds fine, you know. There is a mapping box on this model. In which you can download the Kawasaki Rideology app, which is basically a power tuner app, allows you to sync your phone to your bike and change things like the fuel injection and the ignition. So if you do want a little bit more off the bottom, that is something you can do in the app. I did do that after a couple sessions just because the track was a little bit deep, uh, and yeah, kind of finding myself just wanting a little bit more. But it's not for the faint-hearted, let me tell you that. We did a couple classroom sessions, shall we say. Had full Kawasaki technician guy come in, show us the ins and outs. But yeah, you've got to be a pretty clued up guy um, to use this app. For anyone who's used the Yamaha Power Tuner app last year, it's like that. It's a grid with numbers 1 to 16. It can get a little confusing. Fortunately, Kawasaki and Japan, sort of being the safety people that they are, have made it so you're not going to go too astray and you're not going to completely wreck yourself. But it is a fiddly old job and quite confusing. So maybe a best option would be to possibly go online, look for maps that other people have made and download that onto your bike. That is something that you can do, which I think is pretty cool. Um, Also, the engine mounts, you can get optional different engine mounts to give the bike less rigidity if that's something that you're interested in. The bike's actually 2 kilograms heavier than the previous model, but not something that I noticed. I've rode the 23 all this year, and this bike felt absolutely no different in terms of weight, so not really something that you need to worry about. 24 model, the best thing for me, in my opinion, is the new filter box and the way you change the filter. It pops off out of the rubber grommet, similar to a KTM, and it just slides in and out. There will be a video showing you how to do that up on YouTube as well. It is a super simple procedure. Literally managed to do it in one take, and I am not the most mechanically minded guy, so just bear that in mind. It is super straightforward, and yeah, the biggest plus for me. Also, Brembo front brake, big plus. And this one was decent, didn't really have an issue with it, but in terms of brakes, you can't beat a Brembo. So Brembo front brake, still a Nissan rear brake, but works really well, and yeah, as you'd expect from a Kawasaki, super comfortable to ride, super planted, and yeah, you ride the thing for 20 minutes, no problem. Didn't feel tired, didn't feel wore out, and overall a great bike, an improvement from 23, which is of course what you want when you're bringing out a new model. But there will be a full review up on mxvice.com to go along with this video, which will go into the whole thing in a lot more depth. But yeah, first impressions of the bike, love it, no major issues with it. So yeah, please head over to mxvice.com and have a proper look at the review when I deep dive into the Kawasaki 450.